This is Sally Struthers from the Shawn Kemp's Children Foundation. You may have read this week in Sports Illustrated that Shawn Kemp has fathered many, many children. In fact, did you know that a child of Shawn Kemp's is born every 6 minutes? It's just tragic. These kids need your help. Shawn couldn't afford them when he played for Seattle, so he had to get a $130 million contract with Cleveland. And now that's running out. It's heartbreaking, isn't it? Won't you please send your donation today? With your help, we can save Shawn Kemp's children.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that warm welcome. I really wish we had a show for you tonight, but the weather was so nice this week. We just blew it off, you know? How many times was that repeated around here this week? It's like, it's 70 degrees, let's get out of here. And it's okay. Right? I mean, not that many other places in the country that you can just walk off the job if the weather gets nice. But here, it's all understood, you know? You look around Alki, Green Lake this week, crowded with people wearing business suits, mechanic overalls, McDonald's uniforms. They're walking. Doctors in their surgery scrubs are out walking around. Put a clamp in them. It's 70 degrees out there. Let's go. Come on. Sew him up. Let's get out there. Planes couldn't land at SeaTac. You know, they had to go on to Denver because the air traffic controllers were on the deck with some cold Hefeweizen. You know, That is a true story. We got a memo here at King 5 this week. It's absolutely true that shorts are not appropriate business attire. Because I swear to God, on Wednesday, about half the building showed up in shorts. You know, they're trying to tighten up the dress code around here. It's pretty loose at the big King 5. The news people only dress nice from the waist up. They always have, you know. They sit behind that desk. From the waist down, very casual, and in some cases, kind of kinky. You know, I won't say who. More fun to let you guess, you know, but just keep that in your mind. Anyway, let's see. It was opening day of boating season today, which basically that's crew races followed by the wonderful tradition of wealthy people downing pitchers of margaritas and crashing their expensive boats together while hurling water balloons and retching over the side. That's what Seattle is all about, basically. It's just like, yeah, water balloon. Yeah. It's our tradition. It's great. Well, the Sonics showed up for work today. Yeah. That's right. They got past Minnesota. They're gearing up to face the Lakers. And you know, have you noticed this, that whether they win or lose, Coach George Karl, he always has that same look on his face. It's just there. I don't know. You know. Team actually plays better now that Shawn Kemp's away at Cleveland. Last year, he had that bad season. He missed practices, was late for the planes all the time, and there was all that sorts of speculation that he had, oh, he's got a drinking problem, it's this or that. There's all sorts of other rumors. Well, as we showed earlier this week, in Sports Illustrated, they reported that the reason he was distracted last year was that he was in the middle of a whole bunch of paternity suits because he'd fathered 7 children with several women all over the country. Incidentally, all 7 children have asked to be traded. I don't know if you knew that. That's true. That's true. 7 children. Now, I can see making a mistake once or twice. Or how many kids do I have? Okay, 3. 3. No, boys. Boys, you weren't mistakes. You were delightful surprises. Daddy loves you. Go to bed. Anyway, I can see, like making a few mistakes, but 7 times. I'm just saying, Shawn, maybe it's time to review that film they showed us in 8th grade. Maybe add a few items to your shopping list, okay? That's all I'm saying. Anyway, we wish the Sonics well, and I hope that when they're playing down there in L.A. against the Lakers, I just really hope that at some point Jim McIlvaine ends up in Jack Nicholson's lap. That'll look good in those courtside seats, or Karen Black, or anyway. So good luck, Sonics. We've got a great show for you tonight. Bill Nye, the science guy, is here tonight. Going to blow something up. But before we go any further, I want to welcome a new advertiser to the big King 5.
Not long ago, Roscoe's Oriental Rug Emporium was ordered by the State Attorney General's office to close our doors forever, while our going out of business sale was only in its 3rd year. And so, that's that. We closed our doors, and Roscoe's Oriental Rug Emporium is gone forever. However, announcing the grand opening of Alonzo's V-Station Floor Covering Showcase. We're in a new location, and we'll never close our doors again because we don't have doors. We've got entryways, and plenty of them. And not only do we have a brand new name, we've got a whole new product line. Floor coverings. No rugs, just floor coverings. What's the Attorney General going to do about that? At Alonzo's V-Station Floor Covering Showcase, we got every size, every type, every style, every shape, every color of nothing but floor coverings. They look just like rugs, but they're not. They're floor coverings. Why pay for rugs when you can pay for floor coverings? They look so much like rugs, it's spooky. You won't believe it. You'll say, those gotta be rugs. But you're wrong! They're not rugs! In no way, no respect, not in the least, out of the question, under no circumstances, on no condition, far from it, not in your life, not by a long shot. God forbid that these are rugs! They're floor coverings, damn it! We got camel hair floor coverings, Persian, Turkish, Navajo, chenille, mohair, bearskin, shag, and even those little throw floor coverings. So for crying out loud, get down here! Now! What are you waiting for? An engraved invitation? Come on! Move! We're open for business, and this time it's all in the up and up! Really? No kidding! Sure enough! True story! So the Attorney General can get off our back, and you can get off your ass, and get down to the grand opening of Alonzo's V-Station Floor Covering Showcase! And this time, we're here to stay!
Thank you, we're back. Well, as you can tell, there's a very special feeling in the audience tonight, and that can mean only one thing. It's time for another visit from a great entertainer, a great humanitarian, and my personal friend for over 83 years. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Nye, the Science Guy.
Bill Nye, the Science Guy. Bill Nye, the Science Guy.
Hey, love you, Bill. They're playing your song here. Now, you're going to have the extended dance mix of that song coming out? That's kind of a favorite in the raves, I understand. That's the young people's music,
Sure.
Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back to where it all started, your
right
home,
here.
Your little home. And I understand since you've left us, you've made some new friends, and I believe we have some evidence of that. Now, who is this guy here? Look, it's Bill and Bill.
Yeah, that's a federal employee.
I see. And
Bill Clinton.
Is that Monica Lewinsky in the background there?
No. But just look at the guy shaking hands with the president there. He's like, I'm shaking hands with the president!
Right.
Ah!
You're friends with Bill. You ought to be indicted in about 3 weeks at this rate. That's great. Now, Bill, I always love it when you come here because usually you blow things up, and I love that. Are we going to be blowing something up tonight?
No. We're going to be collapsing something.
Almost as good. So
maybe better, John.
Could be in a lot of ways, I guess. Let's see. What are we going to do?
Well, John, let's start with a classic experiment, if
All
you
right.
would, John.
Sorry.
My bad.
Wow. Yeah.
There we go.
Look, the safety goggles.
Now we can relax.
Now that's a look. That's a good look.
John, this is a classic demonstration.
You got that
you may have
boiling
seen.
there?
This is a paint thinner can. Now, those of you who want
okay.
to try this on, don't take a can with paint thinner. This is just
Empty?
an empty can.
Oh, it's got
a
water?
virgin can. A can that's never been thinned,
I
if
see.
you will.
Okay. And what you going to do with that?
So, John, we have just a little bit of water in the bottom.
Okay.
It's just, so it's steaming.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got you.
Now, we'll unplug the burner.
All right.
We'll pour the water out, the steaming hot water into this. There's a bucket here. You can maybe
Great. Yeah,
hear
there's
it.
a bucket there, kids.
So
Don't
now,
do that at home.
It's not. There's not air in here, John, as such.
All right.
Instead, it's another invisible gas,
And let's see.
which we call water vapor.
And
when we put it in the ice
it's
water
crushing
bath,
itself. But
the
apparently
water
the
vapor-
lid's not on as tight as it was
you
in
can hear it.
rehearsal.
Yeah, you can hear it leaking. Yeah, you can hear it leaking. So you're saying that's bad.
Yeah, so that'd be bad. But
yeah.
so in rehearsal, it crunched up really tight.
Well,
you know.
we're not done.
We have sort of a history of things like that.
No, John, we're
It's
good.
on.
We have plenty of time
Okay,
here.
I got yeah. So kids, don't try
what
this
we'll
at
do, we'll
home.
just go ahead.
In fact,
We're hoping-
whatever Bill does, don't do that at home,
You know,
kids. Well, let me just assure the people that this did crush in rehearsal. Now, Bill. Now, wait a minute. Now, this brings up an interesting point. This brings up an interesting point because years ago, we're going to move to something larger. And years ago, the exact same thing happened on a larger scale. If we can show Bill this drum that Bill was working on.
I'd forgotten about that.
Years ago was supposed to just scrunch up. You see, and so it didn't work. See, that didn't work, much in the same way that this didn't work now. And it put Bill into a deep depression for a few years.
It was about 3 years.
No, don't start this again, Bill. We got to move on to the
right.
yeah.
Okay,
All
well,
right,
it's,
now, Bill.
See, it was crushing
There. All right.
like a giant
Anyway,
fist.
we're gonna move on. Bill, I know you were sad about the big drum not scrunching like that. So, are you ready to take on the big drum again? Are you ready? Take your time, Bill. You ready to go for the big one?
I'm ready, John.
All right, let's go to the drum. Come on, let's go. Let's go to the drum.
So, John,
Okay.
John.
They're giving us this signal here,
They
Bill.
always are. John,
Yeah.
ordinary oil drum, 55 gallons, 200 liters.
Right.
And coming out here is steam. Steam from the little bit of water, about a liter of water in the bottom of the
Okay.
barrel, heated by the propane here. What I will do now is turn the propane off.
The propane
heat
turning off. Kids
But with
always turn the
thermal
propane
capacity
off.
of water, the steam keeps coming out. Now, John, I'm going to put this in the bung hole. This is what, John?
That's great.
That's a bung.
That's the most popular phrase in my house, I can tell you
Putting
that.
the bung,
There it is.
putting the bung in
Putting
the
the
bung
bung
hole,
in the bung.
and then you can see this
Oh.
ordinary bung wrench of
Yeah.
science.
I'm sure
Now,
people
John, it looks like a bung wrench.
Yeah, people
but
are always coming over to your house asking for the bung wrench.
sure
aren't
they are, Mike.
Yeah.
Sure they are. It looks like an ordinary bung wrench, John, but when we put the yellow and black tape on it, that is a bung wrench of science.
All right. All right, Bill.
Now, John,
All right, here we go.
this looks like an ordinary engine crane, the way when
We're
you
gonna
pull
put
your
it in
engine
the-
out of one of your Corvettes.
Right.
But you see with
One
the
of my
yellow and
many
black
Corvettes.
tape, it's the
All right.
engine
Oh,
crane.
now it's stuck
No, we're
there. Isn't
we're
that
good.
sad?
It always happens, John.
Okay, there we go.
The
Okay.
engine wrench.
Into the
engine
ice
crane
water it's
of
gonna
science.
go.
Into the ice water.
Okay.
About like yay. Now,
Right.
it's better
Drum
if you
roll,
move, better if
please.
you move quickly. You can hear the ends. The ends are collapsing. Maybe you can see that. Now I'm going to give it a spin.
All right, he's spinning it. Is it going to happen?
I don't know, John.
Boy,
because,
this
you
is
know,
exciting, Bill.
we did the classic demonstration.
Bill Ryan, the science guy, ladies and gentlemen. Wow!
Bill Nye, the science guy.
Science rules.
Bill Nye.
Feeds across the middle to Shrimp. He's the play-by-play guy for the Seattle Supersonics. He's Kevin Calabro. But when the game's over,
This is Storytime with Kevin Calabro.
Once upon a time, a girl named Hood made a slashing move through the forest to check out her grandma. She's wearing the road red riding uniform, carrying the big basket of goodies, moving it deftly from her right hand to her left. as she moves swiftly down the path towards Grandma's house. But here comes the wolf. Predictably, meeting Hood about mid-forest, and Hood doing an excellent job of protecting the goodies. The much taller wolf thinks of stripping the basket. Steps aside. Hood moves quickly down the lane. But here we go. The wolf fakes right, moves left, stutter step move, and down to Grandma's house he goes ahead of Hood. He goes back door. But Grandma picks him up and does a stutter step and slides into the closet and locks the door, baby. Nice move by the octogenarian. And you know the wolf's got to be frustrated because there's no way the old woman should have outmaneuvered him there, even though he does have a pulled hamstring. But there's no time for the wolf to lament that now because here comes Hood. She's knocking at the door. The wolf makes a quick move, puts on Grandma's clothes, and jumps right into bed, baby. Hood comes in the door now. She's got the basket, and you can't like this situation for the young girl. The wolf, the wily veteran, with a woman's clothing on, looking like Robin, has got to be feeling very confident at this point. Hood steps up and asks the obvious question. Grandma, what big ears you have? And the wolf replies, that's so I can hear you loud and clear, baby. And then Little Red says, Grandma, what about those big eyes? And the wolf says, that's so I can see you real good, baby. And now Hood really lays it on the line. What about the teeth, Grandma, huh? What about those teeth? And the wolf says, let's just skip the small talk, because it's time to dine, baby. So he makes his move. Jaw moving up and down, lips quivering all nasty. But Hood moves quickly. She hands off to the woodsman, who has just entered the cabin. She takes the axe and chops the wolf's head off with a tomahawk jab. It's over. Red Riding Hood wins. The wolf's dead. Grandma is out of the closet. The woodsman gets a new contract, and they all live happily ever after, baby.
This has been Storytime with Kevin Calabro.
This is the Late Report. Well, Bellevue's much-touted home loan program, designed to help struggling families obtain ownership of a home, hasn't produced a single success out of 600 inquiries. However, the program has succeeded in identifying at least 600 families who really don't belong in Bellevue. A United Airlines flight leaving Miami had to return to the airport just after takeoff when parts fell off the Boeing 727 engine. In a related story, a Delta 737 had to return to Minneapolis when it was discovered that the in-flight movie starred Pauly Shore. Well, Overlake Christian Center's pastor Bob Moorhead is blaming Satan for his recent sexual misconduct allegations. And in order to remove Satan from his soul, he must lay hands on himself several times a day. King County Executive Ron Sims is proposing $1.1 billion plan to build a new sewage treatment plant in North King or Snohomish County that will also include parks and beaches. Yeah, I can hear it now. Dad, can we go to Poopy Beach? This weekend, the Emerald Queen Casino celebrates its one-year anniversary. On hand to celebrate will be the same poor bastards who are there every other day of the year. Well, the musical Seven Brides for Seven Brothers is coming soon to Seattle's Civic Light Opera. Meanwhile, in Auburn, crowds continue to flock to One Bride for Seven Brothers. It was announced this week that Starbucks will enter the European market with plans to open several new stores in Great Britain. A spokesperson for Starbucks says that England is a natural for coffee drinkers because most everyone there already has bad breath and stained teeth. Finally, a cougar, which was believed to have killed 3 sheep at the Northwest Trek Wildlife Park, has been killed after it was hit by a car. Park officials don't blame the animal for its actions, saying that most cougars tend to get excited around sheep. This has been the Late Report. Thank you, and we'll be right back. That's just about all the time we have on Almost Live this week. Bill, congratulations.
Thank you, John.
You finally beat the barrel.
Yes. I couldn't have done it without you, though, John.
That's right.
It's great to be back. What a fabulous studio. What a fabulous crowd. You know, if you'd like tickets to Almost Live, call the number there at the bottom of your screen. You know, John, not that much has changed.
No, you're right. And we're happy to have you back. Stay with us.
Thanks, man.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you all very much for coming.
Bye-bye.